I stared at this cliff and I wondered how I was ever going to jump off of this really high cliff. I was participating in a 24-hour obstacle course race through the desert of Las Vegas. And during the day, this particular obstacle didn't look so frightening during the day. The race started at 2 p.m., but this obstacle didn't open until midnight. So for 10 long hours, and it was a 5-mile loop course, so we ran past the obstacle over and over again, I got to look at it and wonder how I was ever going to jump off of it. It was unlike anything I had done before. And then night fell, and it started to look even worse. Higher, much higher. I mean, 35 foot, 40 foot, it might as well have been 100 feet. How was I going to jump off of this cliff? So I had already decided I was going to do it because there was a way out. I could take the penalty loop, I could go around. But I got myself to the top of the platform, and suddenly my legs felt like there was no way they would hold me anymore. And this really kind volunteer who could tell I was so nervous, he came up to me and he said, "All you have to do is walk out to the edge of the platform, cross your arms, look out in front of you, and just walk off." Like it was that easy. And he said it in that voice, so cool, calm, and collected. And I thought, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll just walk out to the edge, cross my arms, look across the lake, and jump. So I did. After an eternity, I got myself to the edge, and I jumped. And I remember as I was falling, I thought, I'm never going to make it. There's no water. I'm going faster and faster. And then, boom, I hit the water. And I had jumped off of that cliff. Many laps and many jumps later, I got towards the end of the race. It was 24 hours, but you also had an hour and a half buffer time. If you didn't finish by then, you got pulled from the course, and that final lap didn't count. That cliff was 400 meters from the finish. All you had to do at the end was jump off the cliff, climb out, and sprint to the finish. So I'm standing at the top of the cliff, a little delirious, but more confident since I had done it a few times. And I started to hear these frantic voices from across the water. And I look and I see these little dots, which are people, and they're waving their arms and they're yelling something. And then I hear one of them say, "You only have 3 minutes." And I stood there and I tried to compute it really fast. And then I realized I only had 3 minutes to jump off the cliff, climb out of the water, and sprint to the finish, or that last lap wouldn't count. So I did like the volunteer told me. I got to the edge, I crossed my arms, I looked out, and I jumped. But a really strange thing happened when I got out of the water. Strangers who were on the other side of the lake, friends, people that I did and didn't know, were running us into the finish. It was so cool. Everyone was running to finish. We did finish our goal of 50 miles with only 30 seconds to spare in a 25-and-a-half-hour time cap. I had accomplished that goal. What I did know when I was sitting in your seats here at Truman State University many years ago, I would have never, ever imagined that I would be in a community of people who thought it was fun to put on wetsuits, run around for the day and night in the desert, get muddy, jump off of cliffs, and call it a really great time. It would have never been in my even realm of possibility. What I did know when I was sitting here, though, is I loved college and I was really, really excited to adult. Adult job, adult things. And then the joke really became on me about adulting because in my mid-20s, I had all of these feelings of overwhelm and stress, and social media had become a thing by then. So then there was social media comparisonitis, and then the age-old question of, how do you even make friends as an adult? So all of these things sort of hit me in my mid-20s. I want to stop and pause for a second and ask you a few questions. I just want you to answer them in your head. Do you ever avoid some social interaction? Do you ever use your phone as the little buffer tool between you and someone else? Or do you sit in your room and think, oh my God, I should go try that new thing I've been wanting to do? It's too hard. Nope, it's too hard. Or used the tried and true excuses of, I'm too tired, I'm too busy, or I have to study. The insurance company Cigna did a study and found that 27% of college students reported that they were lonely in the last 2 weeks. And 55% of Generation Z reported that they had a meaningful connection with a human in the last day. That means that there's 45% of Generation Z who did not have a meaningful connection in the last day. So ask yourself this question. Do you think there's a link between social connectedness and physical, mental, and emotional well-being? We're going to come back to that question. But for now, let's go back to my mid-20s crisis. I did what every graduate, high-achieving Truman student would do, and I went back to graduate school. It was great. I loved it. However, it did not fulfill that sort of void that I was looking for in my mid-20s. So in 2011, in the summer, I did my first obstacle course race. If you look, I'm second from the left. If you take a good look, you could probably see that I'm nervous, I'm pretty anxious, and I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. And I pretty much could have puked, I was so nervous, and felt so out of my element. But an odd thing happened that day. Every obstacle that I tried, failed, is the real truth. I gained this odd sense of confidence, though, even by failing. And there were these really great people out there who didn't know me, didn't know anything about me, who helped me, encouraged me, had positive things to say. And I thought, well, this is kind of odd. All these people don't know me, but they're really nice, and this is a kind of fun community of people playing in the mud. So I took this confidence into my real life, and I said, I think I'm going to try some new things. I'm going to try some parkour training and some ninja training. And that was good. But I also found myself reaching out, talking to more people, networking, being more open to really looking around and seeing who was around me. And so we started traveling to different races around the country. And people would say hi, like they knew me. They recognized me. They said hello. They were happy to see me. And I said the same. And I felt a part of a community. Again, a little bit of a crazy community, but a part of a community. So we went to a race in Michigan, and we were running behind a woman and her adult son. And we got to the warped wall obstacle a little bit before they did, and I just thought to myself, we need to stay here. I want to help her get up this wall. So her son ran up, she ran up, and then she fell. And then she ran up, and then she fell. And repeatedly, over and over and over. And we helped her. We made a human chain, and we finally got her to the top of this wall. And the look of excitement on her face will forever be burned into my brain. But then she said, and she couldn't figure out, why did you stay here and help a stranger? Why did you interrupt your race? Why did you feel the need to stay here? We've never met. And I said, because no one is really a stranger on this course. And also, I fell 8 times on this obstacle my very first try. And I know what it's like to have people help you. Buffy is this woman's name. And because there really are no coincidences, 2 weeks later, she shows up in Minneapolis and we go to lunch. What are the odds? But the best thing about Buffy is what happened the next year. She had the same kind of experience I did, where the kindness of a stranger combined with her bravery to be out there, she shared it with her community. I knew we would have a clicker issue. So the first year, she brought a few friends to have that same experience. And those friends became 3 times the size the next year. And so she was sharing that moment of bravery with others so that they could have that experience in a community who welcomed you in, no matter who you were or what you looked like or where you came from. Brene Brown is a research professor out of the University of Texas, and she has been studying shame, vulnerability, and courage for the last decade. And she has a really, really great quote. She says, "Courage is contagious. Every time you choose courage, you make those around you a little bit better and the world a little bit braver." And I think you can see this in Buffy's example. She continues to inspire, and I have no doubt that that group will be twice that size or greater this next year. Now, my moment of bravery I'm going to show you, but I got to ask you a question first. Maybe. Maybe. Yes. Would you put this picture on your social media? It might be my most flattering photo I've ever taken, I think. And as I mentioned, social media became more and more of a thing as I was in my mid-20s and later. And it's interesting to watch people decide what to put on their social media. Are you going to filter it? Are you going to have a different photo? Are you going to change the way it looks? But I just put that picture out there just like that because it represents a bigger picture. It represents the community that was surrounding me when I did this event, the people there, the friends and family at home that were there, and also the fact that I could be exactly as I was and feel seen, heard, and valued in a community. So, really, would you put this picture on the internet? Anyone? Let's go back to that question about social connectedness. Do you think there's a link between social connectedness and mental, physical, and emotional well-being? An increase in social connectedness has been shown to even increase your longevity, help you recover from disease faster. It even gives you a boosted immune system. It has been shown to lower your levels of anxiety and depression. And it actually makes you more trustworthy to other people as well and gives you a higher self-esteem. What really happens when you connect with others in a community of like-minded people who will support you is you get that social connectedness, which creates a positive feedback loop of improved physical, emotional, and mental well-being. But we can all also admit that it's really hard. That sounds easy. Yeah, just be more socially connected. But the truth is it can feel hard, right? To leave your room, to go find people to talk to down the hall, to join a group you've never been to with all strangers, just like it was that day that I went to the first obstacle course race and felt like I might die or puke. But if you do that, what you might find is an increase in confidence in yourself, the ability to overcome some of your self-limiting beliefs, some of your negative self-talk, and what you might also find is a community to help you combat that loneliness, like what I experienced in my mid-20s. So how do you actually do that? Let's remember that volunteer who taught me the best lesson at the top of the cliff. And these are the 4 things I want you to take with you. It wasn't all about obstacle course racing. However, if you want to jump off a cliff or climb up a wall, I will be there with you. But here's the 4 steps you can take into your life to work on your social connectedness. Just like the volunteer said, step 1, you step to the edge of the platform. So in real life, that looks like joining a new group, making a new friend, talking to that person next to you that you don't know. That's stepping onto the platform. That's probably the hardest part, walking up and being on the platform. The second one, however, is my favorite. Cross your arms, he said. I thought, yeah, okay. It's like sealing in the confidence from the people around you because I didn't have it. I had to fake that confidence. So you've joined that group, but now you got to have some fake confidence until you have some real confidence from those people around you. So step 1, get to the platform. Step 2, cross your arms. Step 3, look out. That's the important part. Look out and see the people around you, help the people around you, and watch them invite you in to a community where you can feel seen, heard, and valued. And then, remember, you're already on the platform. You've crossed your arms. You're looking out. There is only one thing left to do, and that is to just walk off and take the leap. Thank you.